Time for another Soccer Down Here 1v1, and we stop in Richmond, Virginia, where we catch up with Life with Grove Soccer United Executive Director Justin Grove, hanging out with us for a 1v1. Justin, thanks for hanging out with us here on the network.
Yeah, John, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, so with the season coming up in the NPSL, and we know that literally preparation is amplified. It's probably at about 9,000 miles an hour right now. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. And the why. Why start something, and specifically in the NPSL? Why do this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this journey started for us in 2015 with Grove Soccer Academy. And it's been an exciting journey up until now. And it kind of came together last year, where we saw from 2015 up until last year, where we were able to develop our players to a certain level. And they were looking for that next level. To be able to push to get exposure, to be able to move on to the level of professional collegiate soccer. So with that, we started our Pro 23 squad, and that was a mix of top college players, ex-professionals across Richmond, across Virginia, and we had great success with that. So it was a test run for us to see, did we have the soccer level to be able to play in a league like the NPSL? Were we able to engage the soccer community and run an exciting game day experience? And we proved that last summer. So we lost our first game, tied our next game, and won the next 7. So from a soccer level standpoint, we were able to build off of each performance. And this is playing against other semi-professional teams across Virginia, across the East Coast. And then as far as the exciting game day experience, we were able to bring the soccer community together at our stadium, both youth players within our soccer academy, and also beyond that in the greater Richmond soccer community, and bringing them together and creating that exciting, inspiring game day experience for them. So that all kind of came together last year. And at the end of the season, we looked at everything and saw that kind of we proved to ourselves that we had what it takes to put a team into a league like the NPSL. And so that was a longer journey with our academy that came together there. As far as why the NPSL, so I have experience playing in the NPSL back in the day. And so I was able to see firsthand as a player the level of professionalism that's there, with the minimum standards, with the stadiums that we were able to play in, the training environment, the level of coaching, and the players that come in from all over the US, all over the world. So the standard, the level of professionalism, but over and above that, all the players that we have at Grove Soccer are looking to play at the next level. So that exposure piece is massive for us. And with the NPSL, being a national platform for players to springboard into MLS, USL, and overseas, that was a major piece in our decision to go with the NPSL. They have every year they're able to push players into those leagues. Even this year with the draft, several players got drafted. There's players right now that are on trial at USL clubs that are getting signed on a daily basis, and then I'm sure we'll continue to get signed at the beginning of this preseason and season. So the level of professionalism and that exposure piece was massive for us in our decision to go with the NPSL.
You mentioned how things are there in the footprint in Richmond, whether it's UR or with other teams in other leagues, and now with Grove Soccer. For those not familiar with the kind of impact and the footprint that the sport has, I guess pun intentional there, break down what soccer and the sport and the community mean to Richmond on the whole and there in the 804.
There is a lot of passion for soccer here in Richmond, and that is built around first the youth community, the youth soccer community. There's 5 massive soccer clubs here in Richmond. Just this past 4 weekends, we had the Jefferson Cup, one of the top youth soccer tournaments in the nation. And so teams coming from all over the country, all over the world to Richmond, playing over a tournament that spans 4 weekends. And so there's a massive support and passion for the game on the youth side. And that is also present for the collegiate and the professional side. The Richmond Kickers is the longest standing, continuously running soccer team in the country. And that says something for the Richmond, soccer community, being able to have that support for that long. I believe we're going on over 30 years now. So it's, that shows the support that they've had, and that's there in Richmond, both from the youth and from, adults that are looking for that experience and looking to connect with that passion that they have with the game.
When the announcement for the NPSL came online, and having this conversation with a lot of franchises, whether they are just out of the blocks, a year old, changing locales, leagues, what have you, phones blow up, emails blow up. And I mean, the instant level of communication is overwhelming at times. What was it like for Grove Soccer to experience? I mean, how far flung are we talking when it comes to folks sending texts and emails and folks wanting to come to be a part of Grove Soccer? How big of a reach was this once the announcement was made?
Yeah, it was massive. So we have reach in Richmond, in Virginia, and a little bit all over the world with the connections that we have, and also with our soccer academy over in South Africa, the connections that we have in Europe. And so, the day of the announcement, the day after the announcement, it was, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, emails, messages coming through. So the support that we had in those next couple of days and since then has been amazing. And, the first piece is within our soccer academy, the parents and players that saw us last year at the event, and the kind of event that we were able to put on, and inspiring the youth players within Richmond, but also beyond that, within Richmond and the youth community. And I think one of the most rewarding, amazing things that has happened since the announcement has been just the outreach from the sports and soccer community, of people coming and wanting to be a part of what we're doing at Grove Soccer United, the vision that we have, what we're trying to do with the club, whether it's, partners, sponsors, people, speaking to us and wanting to be a part of what we're doing and what we're building, and looking to inspire that next generation.
I know that we all have those kind of to-do lists when it comes to launching something, and I know that you've had a bit of a runway to get things done, but at the same time, when something is announced, and then that in the summer or late spring, early summer, it's going to be here before you know it. I know that we all have those to-do lists somewhere, and it's coming at you at about 9,000 miles an hour. I mean, it could be on, and this is a question that I ask all the new clubs. Mm-hmm. It could be on your phone. It could be, where you pull out a stylus out of the bottom of your phone, you sit there and you write an idea down, you put the stylus back, you file it away into a perpetual text document. Could be on a something that's on a magnet that's on your fridge with a dry erase, marker. You sit there and you come up with an idea, and there's a list that you cross things off. Or it could be something that's one of those 6x8 boards. It's attached to a wall in the office, and it has like game day and ops and all these other kinds of things that you sit there and you're hoping that you're crossing things off on. Where is that to-do list? And where is it in the crossing off stages as you're getting closer and closer to your first match day?
Yeah. So when, the announcement came out, that list was massive, and we're chipping away at that list every day. As far as where the list is, it's online. We have it on an online platform on Trello right now, and we're chipping away every day at that. Obviously, everyone has their own method, whether it's writing in a notebook their to-do list, or keeping an agenda and a calendar. So everyone within our team has their own method. But as for us, collaboration is massive for us to be able to move forward, and so we have everything consolidated on our online platform. So we know where we are and the pieces that we need to connect to make things happen come May. But as far as chipping away at that list, it's a big list, especially for us being a new team. Lots of things to put in place, and a lot of things to learn. There's a lot of key players that have really stepped up and really contributed massively. And one of those key players is Eduardo Gama, our assistant coach and head of player personnel, especially on the recruitment side of things and building the squad and connecting with the players. And we're bringing talented players in from all over the country and all over the world. We have with our Grove Soccer Academy in South Africa, we're bringing our top 2 players from our under 23s from there. With our connections, all over the world and all over the U.S. Eduardo Gama has been crucial in being able to put all of those pieces together and bring players in and setting things up to make sure that we have a professional environment for them, when they get here. Another piece, a major key player in that has been Adrian Clulo, with our partnership with him and ACGK, with his professional coaching experience. And professional playing experience, being able to put things together for that professional environment, and just the connections that he has in Richmond, having been a pro player here, and the connections that he has been massive for us. We have a really great team. Our main sponsors, Atlas Tower, Nate and Randy Foster, have been extremely supportive of us from the beginning when we approached them and wanted to take this on since last year. And since then, they've been massively supportive and on board with the vision and what we're looking to do. And then finally, our friends over at the Richmond Kickers, Rob Ukrop, Darren Sawatsky, Mika Oliveira, have been there with us, after the announcement and looking to create synergies and support us every step of the way. So yes, the list has been very big and still is as we approach May. But we've had a lot of support from the Richmond community, from within our team, and kind of the next step for us where we are in that list is selling tickets and getting people excited about coming to the games. Our schedule was just announced this week. Our official schedule was just announced this week, and we'll be playing at City Stadium, which is the premier sporting venue in the city. And so we're looking to get people excited about coming to the games and the atmosphere that we're going to be able to provide. So
when you are trying to bring in players, you mentioned the relationships that you have at home and abroad. I know that stylistically you're looking for a particular kind of individual, but also one that will represent the community and everything that Grove Soccer United stands for. When it comes to bringing in that particular kind of individual, who are you looking for that can satisfy both?
Right. So the first piece on the field would be a player that's constantly looking to get better, constantly looking to develop. One of the main pieces for us is development. We're all about player development. All of our players, like I said before, they want to get to the next level. So for us, it's not about bringing a group of players in that is here for the summer and just here to play matches. It's about pushing each player to that next level, propelling them to their next level and getting them where they want to be. And so we need players that want to come in and are every day putting in the work to get better and improve. And then secondly, we're looking for competitors. We want to make an impact in the league. We want to make a massive impact within our conference. And so we need competitors, guys that are looking to fight for spots, guys that are looking to fight each match and each training session and compete. So on the field, those are the two main pieces that we're looking for. Our culture and what we've built over the last couple of years and what we're still building is a culture of excellence. And a big part of that is self-improvement, always looking to get better as an organization, get better as a team, as a group of players, and strive for that excellence. So that's the kind of player that we're looking to bring in. But as far as what they mean and represent to Richmond, that's just as important. We want players that are able to come in and really connect with the community, to be able to give back. And one of the most important pieces in that is being able to inspire that next generation of soccer players in Richmond, to be able to connect with the youth community, to be able to connect within Grove Soccer Academy and have those youth players look up at our players and want to be like them and emulate them. So that impact in the soccer community, both on the field and off the field, is something that we're looking for from any player that we bring in.
In the Mid-Atlantic itself, you're looking at the Alexandria Reds, FC Frederick, First State, yourselves, Northern Virginia United, and Virginia Beach City FC. When you look at the Mid-Atlantic Conference on the whole, and you look at that level of competition in year one, what do you see in those opponents?
So first off, experience. So there's some teams that have been in the league for a long time, and there's some teams that have been involved at this level for a very long time, with rich ties to their community, with some that have connections with youth soccer academies. And so there's going to be a high level of competition for us. I believe, we're ready for that challenge, but it is going to be a challenge being a new team. And, there's a lot of really good teams that have a strong history, both within the NPSL and in this conference. I believe we have a good core group of players that we had from last year that understand the culture that we're looking to bring, and looking to develop and bring in other players that will add to that culture and be able to compete within the league. But we spoke about the passion that there is for the sport and for soccer in Richmond, but looking in the region, if I look at Washington, D.C., the Northern Virginia area, and Virginia Beach and Maryland, those are massive soccer hubs. Players coming through, programs there, coming through academies, coming through teams like the NPSL in those regions every year. So it's a region that is rich in that passion for the sport.
What's your expectations for year one on the field and off?
So for us, if we're looking at from a result standpoint, we are looking to put a team on the field that can win the conference and make it as far as we can in the playoffs, right? So when we start a competition, it's to win, to go all the way. So that is our main goal from a result standpoint. Over and above that, it's about, again, development for us. So how many of our players can we push to their next level? And how many of those players can we get exposure at the next level to be able to move on after the season? So that development piece is massive, and that exposure piece is very important for us, over and above the results that we have for Grove Soccer United.
When it comes to the growth in and of itself of Grove Soccer United and the club and the NPSL, do you ever have those moments, and I know that we all have them in any business, I know that at any particular point, do you just sit there and have the opportunity to step back in this process and enjoy the process at all? Or is it still just to the point to where you're so focused on trying to get to match day one, that's where the focus is right now? I mean, do you have a chance to sit there and step back and sit there and look at everything that's been built to get to this point, knowing that match week one is going to get here before we know it? Or is it still pretty much just blinders on and trying to get to match day one?
Yeah, so it very much is getting to match day one, day in and day out, putting all of the pieces together, both on the field and off the field. But I speak for myself and my team. We're very passionate about what we do. So, we put big hours into Grove Soccer United and making sure that we have the product both on and off the field when it comes to May. So there's a lot of work that we're doing, but all of that work is rewarding, and we're passionate about it. So, we may be working, I may be working 16 hours, 15, 16 hours, but it doesn't feel like I'm working at all, because it's the passion that's there. And we love what we do, and I love what I do. So as we're going through the process, yes, there's challenges, and yes, it's difficult at times, but we know our why, and our why comes back to our players and creating value for them, and constantly looking for ways to create opportunities and be able to push them forward. And because we have that why, the challenges and, those difficulties that we have faced and that we will face, we're able to push through that because we know why we're doing it. And, that drive and that inspiration is more important kind of than those challenges. So, however, those moments that you're speaking about, few and far between, but there are times where I look to step back and, enjoy our team playing the style of football that we're trying to play. Stepping back, when the announcement of our NPSL squad was announced, going to the annual owners meeting at the NPSL and being announced there, there's those moments that we're able to step back and see, where we've come and kind of the direction that we're going and how things are kind of our trajectory. So it's important to take those moments and gain, continue the momentum with that. But the day in and the day out, the passion kind of drives us there.
Justin Grove, Executive Director, Grove Soccer United, one of the newest members of the NPSL coming here in the 2022 season in the Mid-Atlantic Conference. Welcome to the NPSL, Justin. Welcome to Soccer Down here in the SDH Network. Thanks for hanging out with us for a 1v1. We'll be keeping an eye on things as you start your first season in the NPSL this upcoming season. So thanks for hanging out with us for a 1v1.
No problem. Thanks, John. I appreciate you having me. Thanks.